Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. This will be the last video on the 3 for 70. I'm just getting motivated here, waiting for my twin to arrive so he or she can do most of the work, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think I'm solo today. Anyway, having a little motivation first thing. I wanted to start off before it got blazing hot and my iPad crapped out due to excessive heat. So we're going to look at the 3 for 70. The units I got from the scrapper that delivers, he ended up buying these from another scrapper and had to pay $40 for the group. So I gave an extra $30 for bringing him to my location. So he got his $40 back and made $30. So I'm into the deal for $70. So the first one here you're looking at happens to be a 2013 Troy build. It's got a bag on it. So I knew this could be a money maker for me when I was presented with the figure of 70. I knew I could get most of my money back. This thing running with the bag's going to bring me 150 to 170, depending how long I hold on to it into the season. Sorry about that. So I went through the carburetor on this, cleaned the tank, got it to start. The main issue is one of the front wheels here was binding up. I removed the wheel, the bushing actually stuck to the axle. I tried to break it free with a pair of vice grips and it ended up shattering, so I made another bushing for it. Looks like Southwest Airlines is departing the area. So I just took a piece of my 5/8 OD copper tubing and I cut another bushing, inserted it into the plastic hub of the wheel, and now we're set. This thing starts and moves. It's ready to go. Like I said, carb clean. This is a unit ready to go into my fixed pile. The second Troy built happened to be a booger. You remember this one, it had the engine that was totally worn out. There was metal shavings in the oil. Someone had hack and slash back here to get access to the linkage. They removed the spring and they just had it all open and were killing the machine back here. So I put a new safety brake cable on it. This is a 2018, if I didn't mention that, 2018. I put a 2013 engine on it from another unit that had a rusted out deck. I changed the yellow filler cap to the long stem here. So went through this thing, sharpened the blade. It may even have a new blade on it. So the issue with this thing after we fixed it was the engine had a light surging. I went to remove the valve cover gasket and it's got the Perma Bond or Honda Bond without the gasket. I don't feel like removing the cover and destroying it is worth the slight running issue, so I'm going to try to sell it as is. It's not terribly bad in the hesitation, so I think this will pass, barely pass inspection, so to speak. So I ended up removing the TB1110 sticker here, and I'll show you why. It had the same Troy built sticker as this cover. I found this cover in my junkyard and put it on, the recoil cover. So I stole that sticker and brought it over and put it on this Poulan Pro. This Poulan Pro showed up without the sticker and the recoil, so now I just christened it a Troy built. But anybody that knows Troy builds know they don't have black decks and yellow wheels. So we'll discuss a lot on this thing because it's being christened a double turd here. As you can see, this thing was a total mess. You see the Hyper Tough deck here off to the left. We'll discuss that as well. This happens to be a 2010. I had to read the engine model number and the date code on this side of the engine where the oil filler is. They have stamped the engine numbers on that side. I couldn't tell from the recoil sticker because the sticker was missing. So it is a 2010. I'll give you the specs on it. It's the model number PR450 November 20S as in Sam. It's a 20-inch cut. 450 November 20 Sam. So, issue with this thing, first thing he unloaded it, this back wheel here was rubbing against the frame. You can see this plastic damage here on the tread. It was rubbing, it was tilted in like that. So I removed the bracket, and what had happened is these decks are so thin, there was a crack in the deck. So I supported it from behind with a large washer, and it straightened up the alignment of the wheels. So that was taken care of. Safety brake cable, we'll discuss that. This is what it looked like, NOP, totally shredded. So I put another cable on it, so we're good there. You can see the rust on this cable and a big crack right there in the plastic. So it doesn't stop there. Get that out of the way because we're going to try starting this. If you can see the blade condition here, this is what the blade looked like. They hit a stationary fixed object and bent the shit out of this single hole blade. So I found another used blade nearby just to throw it on it to try to start this thing. Recoil rope was way into the recoil windings. I dug it out and just threw a clamp on here, a radiator clamp, just to try to start this thing, something that I could grab onto. Remove the carburetor. There was a lot of water in the tank. Went to remove the float bowl. The needle valve for the float actually broke off here and is jammed into the plastic housing. There was so much corrosion here, it sealed itself to the plastic. Went to remove it and the whole head sheared off of the needle valve. So this thing is shot. I went and got another carburetor body and started over, grabbed the cartridge out of here and used it. So this thing's been a parts monster, taking up a lot of parts. What do we got to do? I see I didn't tighten these 5/16 or 8 millimeters down. I got to do that. I didn't throw a filter on it. The tank is dry and clean. I used compressed air, cleaned out the tank. So this thing is ready to be fueled and try starting it. So let me grab a socket. I forgot about these. These have to be tightened down, and I noticed the plug's loose, so I got a couple of more things to do and fuel it. So I shouldn't have got you out of bed so soon. You're just going to have to bear with me. I kind of jumped the gun. I guess I'm trying to beat the heat here before my iPad overheats. So let's get busy. Get this thing going. How you guys been doing? Anything been happening? What are you fixing? Season's starting to slowly increase, but it's not going gangbusters just yet. I think when more people try to start their units here, the phone will start ringing. Right now, we haven't had any rain for a while. The grass is extremely dead and hibernating. So I know things are going to turn around. I always worry I'm not going to sell anything, and then I end up selling 105 last year, I think. It's just at the beginning of the season's always slow. Nobody's proactive on lawn equipment, as they're not on most things. There's no thinking ahead, getting prepared. Same thing when hurricane season starts. Everybody waits till 2 days ahead of time when the projected path of the hurricane's going to affect them. They run out, buy all the supplies, and the store shelves are empty. Kind of the same thing for the mower thing. Okay, so that's tightened down, plugs on. Let me remove all of this jazz except for the 2 turds. So before I fuel it, I want to discuss the deck here. When this got unloaded, I said, "Oh, this looks familiar." I noticed this trough here. I said to my Tommy Time self, "This looks like a hyper tough deck." Well, it is a hyper tough deck. It's got the same stamping as a hyper crud here. This is a dead deck, which probably has damage here where I couldn't get the wheel straight. It's got damage somewhere. I think back here there's no, yeah, this was it. The handle's just moving up and down. So this Poulan Pro's got a hyper crud deck on it. It's just painted black, and they used yellow wheels instead of the stock gray wheels. So I knew it was a piece of crud when it got unloaded. And my analysis was right. Okay, let's fuel this. See if this is going to start. We need 3 out of 3 here to get my 70 back, or make a little bit more profit. So I'm debating on whether tell the scrapper not to buy off the street due to the fact that I got to pay more. It's better if he finds them for free on the side of the road than I just have to pay him. When I got to pay 40 right off the bat plus his compensation, it kind of ups my cost ratio. Okay, so let's prime it. It appears everything's on there. Noticed I forgot to put a bowl screw on. It was sitting under the carbs, so I got to go back later and put this back on, but it'll start without that. I just have more work to do on this 2010. Hope it starts. This will be a cheapie, $100 cheapie. Okay, that wasn't good. Hopefully, it's just cold-blooded. I hope it doesn't need more work. So it needs some adjustment. Either with a valve, we got a valve intolerance, or I got to go through the carb again and doctor that up. The surging is an issue. It's running way too rough. So I appreciate you coming out. We got 2 out of 3 that are going to pass the test. This Poulan is still not 100%. As always, tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. Have some motivation. Keep plowing ahead. Thanks for coming out. Like and subscribe. You guys are doing a good job. We'll try to rectify this thing.